Okay, so now we're going to take our fondant and our iceberg cake. Where do you need me to be here? Kind of move this out of the way a little bit if you can. Like I said, bring the fondant to the cake, or the cake to the fondant. Okay, now by putting Crisco or shortening on your plastic, it shouldn't go anywhere. This is pretty thick, but that's okay. All right. It should give you time to be able to stand it up and place it on the cake. So here we go. Kind of line it up and over. Okay, now it's pretty heavy, so you got to get it off of there so you have time to work. Try not to let it fold on itself if you can help it. And get it to stay in there. Just kind of push it into all those little cracks and crevices. Try to remember what you've got going on underneath. It wants to start to rip a little bit. So you want to be quick, but you want to be able to get it covered. And try to use this part of your hand because that's the least intrusive on your fondant as far as breaking through. It's your own built-in fondant smoother. It's a little trickier than just trying to put it on a round or a square cake because you've got all these crags, nooks and crannies that could poke through your carefully sculpted cake at any time. Get it in there and lift it up as you can, and if it breaks, don't worry about it. We're going to cover that up anyways, so it's all good. Okay, let's see. Now, the pizza cutter comes in real handy just to try to get some of this excess off of here, because that's just weight that's causing issues. Okay, see, I got to get over here. Lift this up, get this in here. So you're just lifting and pushing, lifting and pushing. Make sure you get all the air out of the top and all the way down. It's starting to get a little bit dry, a little elephant skin action going on there, but that's okay. Does that look like an iceberg to you? Kind of. But that's okay that it has these, because that's just, character. Sounds good anyways, doesn't it? Okay, so you can either cover your board completely, or you can, if you start to have issues of it cracking or whatever, just don't, you don't have to. Just take that off of there. And then we're going to cover this anyways with some water. So let's just take this off of here. Because it's an iceberg, right? So they say. Okay, but I do want to leave this little island here. It's actually got kind of an air bubble in there, so let's push it down. Get it around here so you can see. Get it out of there. Okay, now I started out with 5 pounds of fondant, and this is probably 2.5, 3 pounds here. So I obviously did not need 5 pounds of fondant. So, you can adjust accordingly. But it's better to have too much, start out with too much, and then you can always, you're always going to cut some off. So, okay. So, since we didn't cover the board with the fondant because it was getting a little weird, that's okay. Like I said, we're going to go back over it with some buttercream. I'm going to make some water, and then we go. But just same way with as with a regular cake, you're going to just kind of smooth it in there. Try not to get your fingernails in the way. That's a part of a problem. If you have really long fingernails, working with fondant can kind of be a problem. So these are almost too long. I just, but you'll gouge as you go along, and that's never fun. So just kind of pay attention. This part of your hand really is the best part for smoothing fondant. So, you know, work with what works for you, but, you know, that's my advice in the fondant. Okay, so that's pretty much the basics for getting him covered. So now I'm gonna work on, we're gonna make some little penguins and some little other animals, and then we'll get that done, and then we'll come back and I'm gonna show you how to airbrush this thing to make it really look like ice.